that familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And the moment of silent breath thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And the reward after. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingua moment.
The future of healthcare seems dark at times, but for patients in Kentucky with diagnostic imaging needs, there's a place with clarity and a compassionate staff. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI provides quality patient care while saving you hundreds to thousands of dollars as compared to hospital-based centers. Remember, for your medical imaging needs, you have a choice. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI.
Be a pretty good game. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Scott County High School tonight for the quarterfinal action of the girls' 11th Region Basketball Tournament. Gary Ball with Cal Oaks and William Warfield, the King of Stream, here tonight at Scott County as they take on Lexington Catholic. And the last time I saw Lexington Catholic Cal Oaks, they did Jay Ballard, which is coming back from that leg injury, so they didn't even have Ballard in there. And now they got Chloe Treese, who, by the way, is the sister of McKenna Treese, who did play at Duke. Now she's at Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's some family lineage there that makes you think there's some talent in that family and there's some talent on that team. And
yeah,
if you're Lexington Catholic, you're going to be coming in feeling a little bit good about the fact that you didn't have your best player last time, even though you lost to Scott County by 38 on your home court. That was back in December, which in Kentucky high school basketball terms is a lifetime ago. And you come in here, I mean, the classic nothing to lose mentality. You're playing probably either the number 1 or number 2 team remaining in the state, depending on how you look at it. Connor went down last night, so there's some other teams that want to be part of that conversation.
I think Dixie Heights beat them, didn't they?
They did, knocked them right out. And that's a similar situation. It doesn't really make life easier for the other top teams because Ryle's in that region anyway. So it's like Scott County and Henry Clay boys. Somebody's not going to go.
Yeah.
So that just opens things up in that region a little bit. But by and large, Scott County, one of the top teams left, and Lex Cath's trying to shock the world here tonight. And if you're Scott County, you got to just guard against all that and get out to a good start. That's kind of been the struggle lately especially against teams where they feel like they have an advantage. And maybe you're taking some things for granted. They let them hang in a little bit longer than they should. One
of the things that Lexington Catholic is concerned about tonight, you better bet your bottom dollar, is the size of this Scott County team. You look at Malaya Williams, 6'2" junior. Then you look at Kennedy Tompkins, a 6' sophomore, and then Malia Owens, a 5'10", 5'9.5", a senior. There's a lot of size there on this Scott County team. The tallest girl in the starting lineup for Lexington Catholic goes about 5'6".
And it was noticeable. Last time those two teams played the first quarter, the obvious strategy for Scott County was pound the ball inside. Kennedy Tompkins had a huge night that night. Malaya Williams did as well. I think as far as Scott County is going to go in this tournament, as much as they're one of the top three-point shooting teams in the state, as much as they have a missed basketball contender in Malia Owens, it's going to come down to how can they get the ball inside and get some points out of their bigs.
And Cal, that will be announced Tuesday night. Malia Owens hopes she's busy that night because they play a regional championship. But the Mr. and Miss Basketball, William has been given the rights to stream that Mr. and Miss Basketball announcement. That'll be down at Rupp Arena at the Lexington Civic Center. They'll announce Mr. Basketball, Miss Basketball, and she, as you said, is one of the finalists.
And they already presented her with the Donna Murphy Award.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, Donna came here to one of the last home games and presented it in person, and she said, I think Malia's going to have some business to take care of on March the 5th, so I wanted to come here and give her this trophy in person.
Well, Donna Murphy's a class lady. She used to coach at Lexington Christian. She's still involved in high school athletics. She was the first Miss Basketball ever named in the state of Kentucky in 1976. And I'm giving away my age here, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about Donna Murphy. A good friend of mine was Doug Schlomer. He was Mr. Basketball in 78. Doug was my color guy. He's an attorney now up in Covington. He a lawyer or so, but he did radio with me for several years up there. And he told me that in pickup games, Donna Murphy could have started for most of the boys' basketball teams up there. He said there's no doubt about it. He said she dominated in the pickup games. How about that?
She looks like she could still play, and her resume was a mile long. I thought they were going to take 20 minutes to read it that night, so obviously a great history there.
I tell you, this Scott County band is very excited, and they are very good. Right now, what they got going on, Cal, what is that? They just
I don't know, they're running laps here, I guess. They came, if you come here during football season, you'll know, because the entire band will be there, and they'll take up half of the home seating section at Toyota Stadium for football games on a Friday night.
And tonight it's Lexington Catholic. The Lady Knights will take on the Lady Cards of Scott County, coached by Steve Helton. Scott True is the head coach of Lexington Catholic. The winners of 13 games this year, but as we referenced already, Cal, they only won 13 games because they didn't have Jay Ballard most of the season with that leg injury. She's been back healthy now for about a month or so. They
won their season opener, and then beginning with that Scott County game, they lost 8 in a row to go 1-8. Since then, 12-7. That's a pretty solid record. It shows that they belong here. They didn't back into this. They beat Lafayette and earned their way here. And, their goal is to give Scott County all they can handle tonight.
They come out in the black uniforms with the blue trim and the white. And the Scott County Lady Cards will be in the home white with the red tonight. The Lady Cards come in with a sterling record, 30-1, the overall record. And that one loss to Lincoln County.
Lincoln County here at the Toyota Classic. They won their first 18, or they've won 12 since then. 10-point loss in a game that really could have gone either way, but it felt like Scott County was climbing uphill all that night. They had some illness going on at the time, so everybody, hey, this season's a grind, and I don't think anybody thinks anybody's going to go 38-0. So Scott County just about where they want to be going into the postseason.
And they are still the highest scoring girls basketball team in the state at about 82 points a game. So when you come out and you can score 82 points a game, the opponent better have their best game, because they'll have to score a lot of points.
That's just it. If you look at that list, they have 82.5, and then second place, I believe, is South Laurel with 76. Now, one of the last games of the regular season, South Laurel came in here, and we thought, that game's going to be like a WNBA, 100-98. South Laurel lost it by 25 or 30 because they just could not keep pace with what Scott County brings.
One team that William Warfield likes, the King of Stream, is that Boyd County team. They've got Savannah Wheeler, who averages about 32, 33 a game, leads the state in scoring. And that's a team that scores a lot of points, but you're right. They're nowhere near the Scott County Lady Card team.
Last year, those two teams, Scott County and Boyd County, played over at the Lexington Catholic tournament around Christmas time, and I believe it was 96-94 in overtime was the final score. Scott County won that. So if that's indicative of what we might see if those two teams play at Rupp Arena, that would be awesome.
Well, for you Scott County fans tuning in tonight to watch the Lady Cards take on Lexington Catholic, you can tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock and watch your boys take on Henry Clay for the regional championship. A berth at Rupp Arena's at stake in that one.
1 versus 2 in the entire state, and one of them is not going to the Sweet 16, which seems kind of crazy to anybody that's not from around here. But that's how it's done, and you've got to earn your way there. And no team is going to have earned their way there more than the survivor of that game, because they've had to run a gauntlet to do it.
I think a key tonight in this basketball game, as we look at the keys to the game, Cal, will be Juliet Smith and her ability to penetrate and distribute the basketball. She's a young lady that's very unselfish, likes to distribute the ball.
You know, when they come out with those postseason all-star teams and she's not on them, I always say, coaches say that we talk about statistics too much, and then they have a chance to put their money where their mouth is by putting her on their team, and they don't, because she's not someone that lights up the scoreboard, but she will get 6 or 7 assists a game. Just quiet leader in every sense of the word. You talk to her after the game, she'll speak to you in very measured tones, but she's a great leader, great person on and off the court, and really has been a driving force for this program. She lost her entire sophomore year to a knee injury, and a lot of players would have, maybe faded away after that, but she came back strong last year, even stronger this year, and it has been a big reason why they're 30-1.
And I think Braylee McMath, the little guard that backs up, comes in off the bench, I think her three-point shooting is so good that she could play a key role in this game tonight too. I don't know why, just something, her name just comes out to me.
Yeah, she's one of those players that would start on just about any other team in the region. She had a game this year that the one that stands out to me is when they played GRC at the Toyota Classic. Coming off that loss to Lincoln, she had a huge fourth quarter to pull that one out.
Speaking of GRC, Scott True, the head coach of Catholic, used to be the head coach over there at GRC for the Lady Cards. He's a great tennis player. I played tennis myself at the tennis center, and I tell you what, this guy can flat play tennis. He's about a 4-0 player, and if you don't know the levels of tennis, I'm at about a 3-0 level. He's a 4-0 level, so he can really play tennis, and I think he does help out with the tennis team there with Ann Brueggemann at Lexington Catholic.
You know, anybody that can move around and play that game has my respect. And
well, I'm not saying I can move around and play that game. I just said I try to play. But we'll keep it right here, and we'll go to the public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups. Where we got, of course, the the Scott County Acapella group.
Yeah, it looks like we got some musicians. We got the color guard here, so some pregame pageantry.
So it is the Scott County Choir. They're going to sing the national anthem, and we're just about set here for the lineups and the national anthem here at Scott County High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by Scott County Junior Air Force ROTC cadets Noah Castillo, Aiden Taylor, Trevor Gray, Braden Stevenson, and the singing of our national anthem by Greg Scott, one of the Scott County High School choirs. They are under the direction of Mr. Merrick and Mr. Wright. Please remain standing until the cadets have left the floor.
Great Scott, I believe they call them.
Yeah, they are great, and they are some of Scott's finest. Boy, the talent in this school on every level, from sports to music to it's just mind-boggling sometimes.
It is amazing, that's for sure. And that was a great Scott from the Scott County Choir here at Scott County High School. And as I said, wait till the color guard gets completely off the court here before you start into the announcements of the starting lineups by the public address announcer, who I think you know quite well here at Scott County.
Oh, yes. Who is it? Mr. Conrad, Kevin Conrad.
Kevin Conrad.
Doing the girls announcing, and does a fine job keeping the music going usually.
Scott County High School for 11th Region basketball action between the Lady Knights of Lexington Catholic and the Scott County Lady Cardinal. First, let's meet the visitors on the scoreboard. The 43rd District Tournament runner-up, Lexington Catholic Lady Knights. Jay Ballard. And for 5'7" senior, number 24, Mingua Gibbon. Assistant coaches, Madison Webb, Donald Tech, Tony Talbot, and Mike Murray. And head coach of the Lady Knights, Scott Drew. Now for the home team with scoreboard, the 42nd District Tournament Champion, Scott County Lady Cardinals. And forward 6-foot sophomore, number 5, Kennedy Tompkins. And forward 5'5" junior, number 1, Morgan Kimball.
So the starting lineups, first for the visiting Lady Knights, Chloe Treese. It would be Farrah Weldon, Melo Gibbon, Jay Ballard, the terrific scorer, and it'll be Morgan Race. For Scott County, the Lady Cards, it'll be Juliet Smith at the point guard, Malaya Williams down low, 6'2", Kennedy Tompkins at a forward spot, Malia Owens, a forward, 5'10" senior, averaging 20 points, and Morgan DeFore, the Red Mamba.
Scott County looks about as relaxed as I've seen them all year. Not even a bit uptight coming in here from the smiles and laughter before the game.
Owens puts it up and no good, and the officials are going to say it hit the backboard, so they're going to give it back to Scott County.
That's an interesting scenario there. Probably not the shot they wanted coming out, but everybody's a little pumped up.
Down low they go to Tompkins, off glass, up and in. You mentioned Kennedy Tompkins. You mentioned she had a great game against Lexington Catholic the first time Scott County played them.
Beautiful look there in the inbounds pass. Scott County is just so good at getting an easy two off of those plays.
Treese gives it back to Rakes. Now steal by DeFore. Up and in. Boy, Morgan DeFore makes it 4-0.
I like the all-business look from DeFore there. Sometimes she'll try to make that extra pass or maybe draw the contact. She was just going straight to the hoop for two.
Jay Ballard and Melo Gibbon play catch in backcourt. They got it across in 10 seconds, and it's very close, and they do get it across just in time as they get it to Weldon. Fair Weldon back to Ballard. They like to have the ball in Ballard's hands, as you know, Cal.
Well, you want to get it in your best ball handlers, your strongest players' hands, because against the Scott County pressure, it can be knocked away real easily.
So Scott True is obviously
trying to hold the ball.
Yeah, taking a page out of the playbook for holding the four corners. This is a whole new meaning on the four corners because nobody. And there's a steal by Morgan DeFore.
And you see, that only works so long against this team. The hands are too quick.
Long pass to Malia Owens down court, back to DeFore. DeFore penetrating to the basket, off glass, good.
Beautiful hesitation there from Morgan DeFore, and then the quick drive.
Scott County Lady Cards 6-0 already. Working across the line is Farrah Weldon. Picking the basketball up there is Farrah. Get it in the corner, and there's a shot, won't go there, out of the deep corner. And I believe that was for Lexington Catholic. We're trying to.
I think it's Melo Gibbon.
Yeah,
24.
we're trying. We're way away from the court here.
Blue on black is the old. I think it's the Kenny Wayne Shepherd song says.
I just want to let the people know we're way up here in the crow's nest tonight, Cal.
Yeah, it's a little distance compared to what we had at Henry Clay. I'm used to it, but you're not.
Juliet Smith out top to the four, lines up the three, off the rim, no good. Battle for it and rebounded by Williams. Williams over to Owens. They go back to the four, gets a pick from Tompkins, and that's a good pick, and she loses it. Coming out of there with it, Weldon, Farrah Weldon to the right side. Weldon into the basket, put it up, no, and rebounded by Malaya Williams.
Weldon bailed out Scott County there for the turnover.
DeFore couldn't handle the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Good defense there by Ballard. She saw that Morgan DeFore was coming down court and losing the handle on the ball, and she just got away from it.
Sometimes Morgan DeFore will have those effort turnovers, you call them. You can't get too mad as a coach because she's trying to make things happen.
Goes over to Ballard on the right side. She's double teamed, trying to get out of that. Still double teamed. Now she does, bounces over to Weldon. They go now to Treese. Shot put up, partially blocked, and it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Scott County as battling down there was Malo Given for the Lexington Lady Knights. 6-0. 5:23 here. First quarter action. Gary Ball with Cal Oaks and wide open, and they couldn't get the ball to her, was Morgan Rakes. Come back out to Ballard.
Once again, Ballard taking her time. Lexington, I believe, only taken one shot in the first
Ballard
3 minutes.
to the basket and knocked away by the Ford. The Ford thought she knocked it off the knee of Miss Ballard, but it goes back to Catholic.
Yeah, I don't know if it caught Kennedy Tompkins on the foot or something or not. Again, it's at the other end of the floor.
Out to Ballard, lines up to three. Back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Tompkins. Tompkins clears it out. Now she picks up the pace. Over to the four. Back to Tompkins, 15-footer. Got it!
Soft touch just inside the free throw line. That's 4 for Tompkins.
She knocked it down from the free throw line. It's 8-0. Here's a steal. And to the basket, and the shot won't go there for Owens. Down low, Tompkins gets it back over to Owens. Lets the three rip off the rim. And coming out there, Catholic's going to have a bust down. Weldon, and it's going to be a foul, I believe. Yeah, they're going to call a foul.
That's one way you can sometimes get your offense going if you're playing against Scott County. They'll miss those wild threes. You'll get the long rebound and maybe get a fast break going.
So far, Scott True, he wants to talk about it.
He wants a 30.
Yeah, 30-second timeout here on the Mingua Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week. It is 8-0, all Scott County leading the Lexington Catholic 8-0, and 30-second timeout. Scott really pleading with his ball club. I tell you what, they haven't even really gotten any good looks. That shot by Ballard from the top of the key was the best look they've got so far in this game.
Yeah, a little step back three in the corner by Given, but that's it. Otherwise, they haven't had many attempts. Balls getting knocked out of their hands before they can set anything up over there.
4:40 to go in the first period from the girls' 11th region quarterfinal game. And the trigger lady will be Malo Given. She's going to put it out underneath her own basket. Rakes out front and looking down low, and there's Ballard, and that's a high. It goes up off the support. It hits one of the cables coming down on the backboard, and it'll be to Scott County basketball.
Ballard, you mentioned the height disadvantage Catholics had. Ballard had about 6 hands flailing in her face, 6 inches above her head.
Down floor will be Juliet Smith. Over now to Owens. Owens penetrates, lines up the three. Off the front of the iron. Rebounded by Williams. Turns, won't go. Tompkins sticks it up, no. And rebounded by Lexington Catholic.
It's been Helton's frustration, Coach Steve Helton, being able to finish even though they're getting those offensive rebounds. Sometimes they get sequences of 3 and 4 shots and nothing to show for it.
Work it back out to Chloe Treese. And that's thrown away.
You just can't afford unforced errors when you're playing against Scott County.
Too many of those for Lexington Catholic, unfortunately.
Using those tennis terms again.
Yep. Smith gives to Tompkins. Power move up and in. I tell you what.
KT has come to play tonight.
Yes, she has. She got 6 points already. 6 of the 10. Ballard screaming at her ball club, wants to get it in bounds, gets it over there to Treese, and comes back to Ballard. Back to Treese. In the middle, they go to West, who just checked into the ball game. Shot put up and in. They finally score.
Weldon got the basket there. Farrah Weldon on the press breaker. The first one the Lady Knights have been able to execute successfully.
Tompkins way out front of the iron, and boxing out and rebounding is West.
Yeah, good form on the rebound there to get another possession for Catholic.
Treese down court, right side, knocks it down. So maybe Catholic starting to settle into it a little bit. Long pass to Owens. She stops from 15 off the iron to 4, boxed out. Coming away with it is Ariel West, the sophomore.
And the Lady Cards helping them settle in with one-and-done possessions here.
Three-pointer off the mark, rebounded. They get it back outside and to the basket and won't go right side and blocked, but picked back up by Catholic, goes off the knee of Scott County. Into the game now is Julia Maddie.
Kaylee Wise and Braylee McMath coming into the game.
Madry, a 5'5" sophomore.
Scott County.
Yep, you're right, McMath in there. We talked about her in the pregame.
She's a spark plug. you lose track of her as she'll hit an open 3 and then hit another and then hit another.
They get it into Madry. Madry gets it to Ballard. Ballard hasn't got on track yet, has not scored. She falls down, and ball goes out of bounds off to 4. Yeah, you know, Ballard's got the bad knee. She's got the leg problem, and kind of showed on that one, didn't it?
Yeah, she's lost her footing a couple of times. She obviously, they want everything to go through her offensively, but it's easier said than done.
Frank, almost a steal behind a 4, and yeah, she knocked it off of Ballard.
She earned that one. She didn't get the last one that she wanted, but this one off of Ballard's leg.
10-4, Scott County on top. McMath got it out top. McMath comes over to Smith. Down low they go to to Williams, and that shot won't go, and we're going to have a jump ball called, and the possession arrow favoring the Lady Knights, I believe.
Honestly, it's been a slow start by Scott County standards on the offensive end. You wouldn't expect that in their building. Maybe if we were at EKU tonight, you'd think that, but sometimes the nerves, a little bit of extra adrenaline, and those outside shots just don't want to fall yet.
Giving in, and Ballard out for Lex Cav. West kicked away again. I tell you, these are just such quick hands and
hands and feet.
Yeah, hands and feet, like soccer. Can't use your hands in soccer.
About the only way they can bail themselves out is throw it off their foot and hope it goes out of bounds.
Madry down low, and it's knocked away there. Good defense by Wise, Kaylee Wise. McMath over to the 4, long 3, got it. That's 7 for Morgan DeFore.
DeFore and Tompkins have done all the damage so far, and you know other players like Williams and Owens are going to catch fire eventually.
2:05 to go. 13-4. Scott County leads Lexington Catholic. Ariel West across the line, gives it up to Madry. Julia into the lane, gives it up. Right side, and there's Malo giving. That won't go. Gets it back right side, missed the layup, and pulling it out of there is Williams. She gets it out to the 4. Stops and pops a 3. Back of the rim, no, and it goes out of bounds, and it will go to Lexington Catholic with 1:38 here in the first quarter.
And Helton won't like the shot selection there. He's sending Malia Owens into the game. Going to have a word with DeFore.
DeFore out, and coming back in will be Malia Owens.
She probably could have taken it to the rim there, and that's probably what he's going to say.
Chloe Treese from Malo Given, back to Given. Long pass down court, and working with it. We got a new player, and I'm trying to see her number. Sorry about that. As soon as I get her number. Here's a steal, and down court spinning, and a shot up. What a move by Owens.
A 360 by your Miss Basketball candidate finalist. Malia Owens is on the board.
Given throws it away, trying to get it over to Madry, and throws it out of bounds.
Here's the thing for Catholic. You've played as defensively about as well as you probably can. You've got the pace to your liking. You're still down double digits, and Scott County is threatening to make a run here and put it away early.
And the first move of a game by Malia Owens is simply spectacular. That's her first basket of the game.
If she can get to the rim, that's where she's going to do her most damage. That'll open things up for her consequently on the outside.
McMath. Over they swing it.
Timmy Williams in the game now.
Timmy Williams in the game, just handling the basketball. And that's Malia Owens, right side. Trying to go to Wise and picked off. And it's picked off there by Weldon, Farrah Weldon. Long pass, throws it away. She was trying to go to Ariel West, but threw it out of bounds.
She had the right idea, but the wrong execution. It's just so tough when you've it feels like you're playing 5 against 10 out there when you're playing Scott County with that pressure.
It sure is. Right side, and that's Williams. Timothy Williams, and she's going to travel with it.
She got away with the arm bar. She didn't get away with the travel.
She was trying to go to Kaylee Wise, but she turned it over before she got the ball to Kaylee. We're going to have Ballard back in for Lexington Catholic. 32 seconds here in this quarter. 15-4. Darren Douglas is over at Dunbar tonight for Woodford County. We'll get updates on that game as well.
That's on the other side of the bracket.
Sure is. Down low, and that's going to be a travel by Farrah Weldon. And into the game, Jay Ballard will come back in, and going out will be Ariel West, the sophomore.
Of course, everybody kind of looking at the bracket and speculating that maybe Sunday we'll have a Scott County-Franklin County matchup in the semifinals.
And by the way, Cal, they've moved those game times Sunday.
3 and 5.
Yeah.
That one, Scott County be in the late game at 5 o'clock if they win this one on Sunday.
McMath, out top it goes now. And there's a shot in the paint. Won't go for Owens. but picked up by Wise. Back out. Here's a launch by Owens. Off the mark at the buzzer. The first quarter horn sounds. Good first quarter all in all for Scott County. They lead 15-4 on top of Lexington Catholic as we go to the second 8 minutes here from Scott County High School on the Mingua Beef Jerky Game of the Week.
Did you know in addition to education assistance, UPS now provides housing for qualified employees through the UPS Kentucky Living Options and Opportunities Path, also known as UPS Kentucky Loop. You can work part-time in Louisville, go to school at Jefferson Community and Technical College, and receive housing for up to 2 years. Earn a degree or learn a trade. It's up to you. Loop benefits are available to those who live outside the Louisville metro area, whether you're just starting college or going back to school. It's time to get in the loop. For more information, visit upsjobs.com. That's upsjobs.com.
And welcome back as I get my scores texted out here.
It's that time of year, scoreboard watching
sure
time.
Is 15-4.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start, certainly by Scott County standards, but they've forced a ton of turnovers and therefore have the big lead early.
Juliet Smith down low and a shot put up and in by Williams. That's her first basket. Good assist by Juliet Smith. You talked about her assists. She averages about 7 a game.
Yeah, she just makes it look easy, and it's easy to make it look easy.
And
when
a steal. And a shot put up and in there by Owens.
Say it's easy to make it look easy when you're throwing a 6-2, and then Owens makes it look easy with the steal and quick drive and a lay-in.
Given and Ballard play catch. In the middle, they go to Weldon. Weldon, right side, and penetrate. They get it back out to Ballard. She's way out top. About NBA range, right in front of the Scott County logo at midcourt. Back they swing it now, and Lexington Catholic.
Ballard's a good player to have as your quarterback out there. She's in no hurry, even with the big deficit.
Pass goes back to Ballard. She's got Tompkins on her, and Ballard backs it back out. 6:55 here in the first half. Ballard to the basket, put up a shot, won't go, and they call traveling on Ballard before the shot.
She probably could have driven and kicked there to number 14, Farrah Weldon on the wing, but elected to take it herself and get called for the walk.
I believe that's Hannah Carlisle in there. She's got the long hair covering up her number. And there's a spin move, and it won't go. Tompkins knocks it out. 14-13. Woodford on top of Dunbar in the second over there from Darren Douglas. 19-4 here, Cal. It's all Scott County.
It's as advertised so far.
Treese, left side, and it's stolen by Scott County's DeFore, and it's knocked out of bounds. It goes back to Scott County.
It's got to be 5 or 6 steals for DeFore already.
Yeah, you're right.
He seems to come away with the ball almost every time. Owens has gotten her share as well.
Smith tries to set her up in the corner with the pass. Down low they go now to Williams. Williams spins, gets it back to Owens, fakes, goes left, launches, and it's in and out, and rebounded. Coming down with it is Chloe Treese. Gives to Weldon, back to Ballard. Ballard now works it very slowly across with 19-4.
You can work it slowly, but Scott County will come and get you.
Left side, they swing it to Given. Back out to Ballard. 19-4. Scott County by 15. 5:50 to go in the first half of action.
If my memory.
And there's a three knocked down out of the left side, and it's Treese.
I was going to say, if my memory serves, that's probably the best defensive first quarter Scott County's had, and then Catholic goes and hits a three.
And there's Tompkins with the cleanup on the miss by DeFore.
Strong take by KT, who has 8 points.
Yeah, 8 points for KT, and it's 21-7.
As we mentioned, Tompkins, a sophomore, only been playing organized basketball for about 3 years.
She's got a big upside, doesn't she?
Huge.
Working with it in the right side is Malo Given. Back to Ballard. Tompkins on her. Ballard averages 12 points a game. Treese has 5 points already. Lob down low, and it's stolen on the backside by Malia Williams.
I don't know if that lob play is going to work against Scott County with what they've got inside.
Tompkins up and in.
Beautiful look. Great ball movement from the Cards. Owens and Williams involved in that. They had numbers and they took advantage.
That's 10 points for KT. To the basket, blocked there. It's blocked by Williams, and Tompkins tries to rip it out of there as she's battling with Weldon. They're going to give it back to Lexington Catholic, and coming back in West and going out. Well, both we're going to have a timeout, a full timeout called by Scott True, a full timeout with 4:42 to go here in this first half, 23-7 here on PrepSpin.com. And of course, Mingua Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week. I want to thank Mingua Beef Jerky. Also, tomorrow night, Scott County will be in battle against Henry Clay. Full timeout.
I work really hard, but I'm struggling to pay my bills on time. I've gotten pretty far behind, and I don't know what to do.
Is this happening to you? We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode.
Bankruptcy could be your best solution.
We're here to give you a fresh financial start.
Start your bankruptcy for as little as $78 now. The consultation is free. In Lexington and now in London.
We're back here at Scott County High School where the Lady Cards are dominating 23-7. 4:39 to go in the first half.
Anytime they can get to the rim, they're dominating, whether it's layups or second chances or drives. The outside shots haven't fallen much yet.
Go. Chloe Treese has hit a three-pointer and a bucket. She's got 5 of the cat. Here's a steal by DeFore. DeFore down court, loses control, spins it up, and she's going to be fouled.
Floor looking a little slippery for both teams. Julia Smith just took a dive there and kind of gets up shaking her head.
Scott County and Henry Clay tomorrow night, the 11th Region Boys Championship. We'll have that game on PrepSpin at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Pregame at 7:45.
I'd like to see those two teams in a best-of-7 series. This will be round 4, and this will be for all the marbles. So I guess this is like Game 7. One of those teams will be going to Rupp next week. And
8 for DeFore now, Cal.
It's quite a start for her, considering that she's struggled a little bit from outside, but she's made hay off of turnovers.
In and out on the free throw, rebounded by Ballard. Jay in trouble, needs some help, and they come back and help her. That's Given, Malo Given back there. Now she gets it up to Weldon, and that's 10 seconds.
And what Coach Helton's doing here is putting Kennedy Tompkins on Ballard at the back of that press, and 6 feet and arms waving. It's hard to find a seam.
17-point spread for Scott County Lady Cards right now. 4 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the first half. Down low they go, spinning, and there's a shot by Williams, and that rolls off by Malaya Williams. Kicks it out to Smith. Smith goes to Owens, and there's a 3 in and out. Tompkins battling, and the shot put up and rolls off there for Williams. Stuck back up by Tompkins, no. And on the left side won't go.
0 for 5 on that possession.
Yeah.
Good night. And 4 of them were bunnies.
Ariel West for Lexington Catholic works it down. She might have carried the ball.
That was, yeah. Look for a makeup call here in a minute.
Morgan Rakes has the ball. She's in trouble. Goes now to Given. Malo goes to Weldon. Weldon to the basket. Won't go. Good defense there by Williams.
They've held Catholic to single digits for most of the half here.
Julian Smith to the basket. Short.
My goodness, everybody's just struggling at close range.
We're going to have a jump ball called. We're going to have back in the game will be number 20. That's Julia Madry for the Lady Knights, and Scott True, 3:04. Lexington Catholic's only managed 7 points here in the first,
they've got to feel very fortunate to be within 17.
Three-pointer out top won't go, but down low rebounded, and that shot won't go.
It becomes mental
Williams.
After a while.
Yeah, it does. start thinking about it too much.
You know, maybe it's nerves, maybe it's the first round of the tournament. It's a good one to get out of your system tonight anyway.
Ballard, West, gives to Madrid. She's up and down. She thought about shooting it. She should have gone ahead and shot the ball.
And that, I think Scott County's into their heads as well. It just you want to make that split-second decision, but you're so worried about who's coming from the side or the back or all directions.
Carlisle back in. That's the girl we talk about with the long ponytail that covers up her number in the back, but that is Carlisle in there, number 13.
Lucky 13.
Yep. DeFore can't handle the ball. 24-7. 2:30 to go here. DeFore to the basket, rolls in there.
She's in double digits with 10. Yep. Tompkins with 10. They've been the story.
Yep.
An even game if you take them away.
Ballard in the front court. Cut off by Owens. Goes now to Morgan Rakes. Down low to Madry. Spinning. Back throws it away. DeFore's got the steal. Morgan DeFore left side hanging and banks it in. DeFore's got 12 now.
She's the one player that nothing seems to rattle her confidence. She could miss 8 shots in a row and she will just come back at you. It's just such a fiery competitor.
Minute 50 to go here in this first half. 28-7. Another steal by DeFore. Juliet Smith stops and pops from 15. That won't go. Rebounded, coming down with a Madry. Gives it to Ballard. Ballard picking up the pace. Right side. Ballard just looks uncomfortable here tonight. And there's a reason why. Tompkins just stole it from her. Tompkins bounces over to Juliet Smith.
Oh, my word.
Tompkins trying to clean it up. Puts it up, draws the foul.
It has been tough sledding underneath the basket for the Lady Cards tonight. They should have this one put away by now.
They hope they get this out of their system before it starts to really get interesting in the semis and the championship,
right? If you think these rims are unkind, they're your home rims. You're going to go to EKU, and Lord only knows.
Tompkins. Free throw front of the iron, no good for Kennedy Tompkins. And back into the game, Malo Given. Out will be Ballard. Ballard just looks like she's really struggling with her conditioning tonight.
Yeah, she's discombobulated. I mean, it's one thing to think you're ready for a team like Scott County, but with all the defensive pressure they put on you, it's just a different animal.
Tompkins. Most missed both free throws, rebounded by Owens.
Great effort by Malia Owens to get after that.
McMath out front on Rakes. Gets it back over in the corner to Owens. Back to McMath. Minute 12 to go here in the first half. 28-7. Scott County. McMath into the paint. Over to Tompkins. Launches it, and it's off the missed off the rim, so it comes out of bounds to Lexington Catholic.
Just not a pretty first half.
7 points. And
that's the good side. If you're Scott County, that's the good news. This is by far, and I mean by far, their best defensive half of the year. You know, most of their games, it's 56-30 or something like that. So the offense isn't coming easily, but they're finding ways to shut down the Lady Knights.
West gives it up over to Carlisle. Carlisle back now. It comes to Morgan Rakes. Rakes back to West. Throws it behind her teammate, Weldon, and Malo Given out of bounds.
I'll be interested to see the halftime totals if we can get our hands on them.
Yeah, we'll try to get
I would bet they have more turnovers than field goal attempts.
Down to 42 seconds here in the half, 28-7. Scott County on top of Lexington Catholic. To the basket and off the mark there for Owens.
It has afflicted everybody.
Steal by Morgan DeFore. DeFore penetrates, throws it up, and slammed to the floor. That was a hard foul.
Yeah, you don't want to get anybody hurt in this game. You've got it well in hand, and you know the shots will fall eventually and allow you to kind of put this one away. What you don't want is one of your key players going down with something freaky.
Haley Ward set to check in, and she's going to come into the ball game, and going out will be Malia Owens with 4 points.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating for her, and she's not really getting a lot of open looks, but the ones she has gotten have not gone down.
DeFore got both free throws. She's got a good ball game working, 30-7.
Anytime you can have a subpar half and put up 30 and hold the other team to 7, I guess that's okay.
Madry over the right side. There's a shot banked up and in, and that was Carlisle. Hannah Carlisle with a bucket, 30-9. DeFore looks up at the basket, 7 seconds. Morgan penetrates. Morgan whips it in the corner. McMath launches the three, off the mark, no good.
Guess that's a fitting end to the half there.
So as we head to the halftime, 30-9, the lead belongs to the Scott County Lady Cards. Only 9 points, Cal Oaks, in that first half by the Lady Knights. We got a 10-minute halftime here, and we'll try to grab a stat. It's 30-9. Lexington Catholic trailing Scott County here at halftime of the girls' 11th region tournament at Scott County High School in the Mingua Beat Jerky high school basketball game of the week.
That familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And the moment of silent breath, thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And the reward after. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingua moment.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Some things never change. Like the sound of pads crushing against the equipment, the feel of cleats on fresh-cut grass, or the deep rest from a full practice. Another thing that never changes, the feeling of relief when the whistle blows for break. And the savory snack to go along with it. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingua moment.
I'm on a fixed income. Credit cards help me balance the money that's coming in and what I need to live on. I've thought about bankruptcy, but how am I supposed to pay for it?
Sometimes the people that need help the most
are the very people who can least afford it.
We've come up with a way to get you started for less.
Start your bankruptcy for as little as $78 now. The consultation is free. In Lexington and now in London.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
That familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And the moment of silent breath, thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And the reward after. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingua moment.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky. By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 956 Kentucky charities and community events.
Employees of Whitaker Bank volunteered 14,860 hours to better our Kentucky communities.
93 nonprofits that promote diversity and inclusion in Kentucky are supported by Whitaker Bank.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
Back here with Cal Oaks and William Warfield, the King of Stream. And Cal, you can take a look at those first half numbers there, and they say numbers don't lie. Well, I tell you what, you look at that one number, 20 turnovers for Lexington Catholic, and if you're a Catholic fan, you wish that you could lie about that.
You wish you could. 4 for 15, so yes, I speculated more turnovers than attempts, and that was the case by a wide margin, actually. Scott County, 13 for 40. 1 for 12 from 3, very uncharacteristic. A lot of missed layups. The good news for Scott County, Morgan DeFore, 4 for 4 from 2-point range. She's only made the 1 3. Steals, Morgan DeFore with 6. That'll get it done. We saw her coming away with the ball almost every time down the floor there in the first quarter. Then Catholic had a possession and it ended in a Morgan DeFore steal. Just Catholic having trouble getting to the basket and even getting the ball up in the air. Owens, 2 for 12. That is definitely the toughest half I've seen her have all year.
Yeah,
I think the goal for Scott County will get her on track to get her some confidence this half and settle in. I mean, she and Juliet Smith, I think maybe the emotions of this being their final home game have set in. As they both said to me, senior night was kind of, not the usual feeling because they knew they were probably going to get another game here, and maybe some mixed emotions for them tonight, and probably getting in the way a little bit. But hey, it's a playoff game. You got to credit Catholic a little bit defensively, kind of making it tough on them, and at least in the half-court game, making it tough on them and denying them what they would like to normally do. Most of the Lady Cards offense is coming off of turnovers.
And you look at the rebounding situation, Catholic has 7 of those because of all the misses by this Scott County team, but they have a total of 18 rebounds. So the rebounding edge is kind of misleading there, because the reason that Catholic almost has an edge, or it's got 17, is the fact that Scott County's missed so easy bunnies.
And Scott County has had a couple of scenarios where they've gotten 4 or 5 of those, 4 or 5 of theirs right in a bunch on the same possession, and just unable to get the shot to fall. So just an uncharacteristic half on the bad side offensively, but on the good side, it's uncharacteristic defensively for them to hold a team to 9 points like that. Certainly the best they've done all year, and some of that is just because the Knights are unable to get anything going, and not even get any good looks.
Really, the only positive for Lexington Catholic, Chloe Treese had 5 points in that first half. She did knock down the 3 over off the left side. She had a bucket, so she has 5 points. Jay Ballard,
been shut out.
Their senior leader, doesn't even have a point in the first half.
No, and obviously didn't have a point the first time they played because she didn't play.
Yeah.
But in this one, they want all their offense to go through her, but it seems like they're getting to her. How many turnovers did she have? It's she's had a bunch of them, basically because by default she's been the ball handler. 6 turnovers for Ballard, as they will double and triple her and make her give it up. And that's a good strategy because no one else has been able to really stick one consistently.
We have of course, halftime score over there from Darren Douglas, 21-20, a halftime score between Dunbar and Woodford County. Woodford County up by 1 point at halftime. And here it's 30-9. The lead is for Scott County Lady Cards. That sets up some discussion for tomorrow night. You got the number 1 team in the state, number 2 team in the state, Henry Clay, number 1 Scott County. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at Eastern Kentucky University in the McBrayer Arena. The 11th Region Championship will be decided.
And they've done this one time before. It was 5 years ago in 2014 when those teams met in both the district and region finals. Henry Clay won the district that year, and it was a similar situation. They lost both regular season games. They had home court advantage for the district. They took advantage and won that. They went to regions, and Scott County paid them back in a close region final. If you're Scott County, you hope history repeats itself. If you're Henry Clay, you hope that the momentum from last Friday night carries over, and you're able to back it up with another win and get yourself to state for the first time in a while. And I think whoever comes out of that game tomorrow night goes in as certainly one of the co-favorites to cut down the nets at Rupp Arena.
I agree. And you look at the ball game last night with Scott County as they won that one 56-51. It wasn't a great game, but I tell you what, Bryce Long stepped up big, didn't he?
Bryce Long stepped up big in the third quarter. Lorenzo Williams stepped up big in the fourth quarter. In that third quarter, I thought Marino made his contributions, Michael Marino, with the outlet passes and the steals and triggering that fast break. He wasn't scoring a lot of points last night. He hit 1 big 3 in the third period that kind of got him going. But other than that, he was 1 for the night from the field. But did a lot of distribution and defensive things to get things going in a positive direction.
He's slowly getting back into his groove. I don't know. He's probably 80, 90, 80% maybe.
He'd have to say that. I might put it at 60 or 70. But as I've said, even 60 or 70% of Michael Marino, I would take over 100% of everyone else. Had a really big game down at Madison Central. Had 13, 15 points, but most notably kept Isaiah Cozart from doing a lot of damage, at least to the level that he did in the regular season meeting.
You've got, of course, the regional championship tomorrow night. Henry Clay, they, of course, led by Marquez Warwick. He had a big game last night for them.
Warwick, Hawkins, and Brown had
big
54 between them out of the whatever it was, 67, I guess. And that's kind of what we expect from Henry Clay. What we don't expect is what we got last Friday night, which was Marquise Mackey, Raymond Jackson, Razor with a big night defensively and offensively. He had some other guys, Mayan White coming up and sticking some shots. If they can go 6 or 7 deep and match Scott County in that regard, it gives them a good chance. If they become a 3-headed monster like they were last night, I think that plays into Scott County's hands a little bit. I think that the Devils need some other guys to step up if they want to have a shot to back it up.
Will it be Mayan White? Will it be Razor Jackson? Guys like that, certainly capable. I think White had 16 points for Henry Clay in their opening regional game against Madison Southern. He had a big game.
Yeah, it was an interesting draw because Scott County had to go to Madison Central. Henry Clay certainly had an easier quarterfinal, and that gave them, I think, a little bit more possibly in the tank for a scrappy, and I would say that with a capital SCRAPPY, Woodford County team. I was impressed with them both times they played Scott County this year. They are just relentless, and Henry Clay had to work hard to win their game as well. So 2 tough semifinals. I think it's even in that respect. I don't think anybody had to expend any more energy than the others. So we're going to get going to get both teams at their best hopefully tomorrow night.
So Scott County, we're getting ready to start the second half. They're up 30-9. That's right, it's 30-9. Scott County leading Lexington Catholic. Lexington Catholic just not getting much done offensively. Coach Scott True would be the first to tell you that he needs more out of his ball club, particularly on the offensive side. 9 points just won't get it done in the first half.
Just by comparison, at the half in the regular season game, it was 56-25. And I think that's indicative of how far Scott County has come defensively. I think you got to tip your cap to Lexington Catholic too, to hold Scott County to 30. Very few teams have done that. Clay County and Campbell County come to mind. Those are two quality clubs. So if you're putting your name up there with them and doing that in the first half to Scott County, you've done well.
I tell you, it's a good thing that KT, Kennedy Tompkins showed up in the first half and Morgan DeFore, because without them, I mean, they've done the bulk of the scoring.
They have 24 out of the 30. So some other players will want to get theirs here. Owens and Williams especially come to mind. Juliet Smith, not so much. She can go a whole night without scoring, and she'll do other things to beat you. But those two, they definitely want to get into the flow here.
They get it into Ballard as the play was Malo Given putting the ball in play. Now with the basketball out front is Treese. And they get it on the left side back out top to Ballard. She's working there on Owens defensively. Owens really getting after her. Bounce now comes over to Treese, Chloe Treese. Out top, she swings it to Weldon. Farrah Weldon. Now they go back to Ballard. Ballard double team. She's going to be trouble. She bounces out of it to Weldon. Weldon to the basket, and there's a swat by Tompkins.
Get out of here. That was authoritative. Can't say enough about the defense Scott County's played, because quite often their defense is connected to their offense. Their offense hasn't played well, but their defense has.
Three-pointer off the mark by Farrah Weldon. Air ball, and it goes back to Scott County. So we start the second half pretty much just like the first half.
I like the aggressive look I saw defensively in that possession from Owens.
There's a three-pointer out top there by Williams and Smith in the corner, and there's a shot, won't go for Williams, and they're battling for it down low. Williams, and they're going to give it to Scott County.
Yeah, that's a shot that Williams has worked on, because at the next level she's obviously going to need it, and she makes it more often than you might think, but that one was short.
Smith way out top to Owens. Malia Owens, she takes it to the basket, dumps it over now to Williams. Williams playing volleyball with it, throws it up and draws the foul.
That's the great advantage of being 6'2", 6'2.5", 6'3", whatever they're listing Malia Williams at now, is like you throw that ball up there, she's going to go get it. Tap it around to herself all day.
So at the line will be Malia Williams. She'll get two. She'll try to add to this Scott County lead. Misses the free throw.
Malia Owens might have had to lay into the basket there. Maybe unselfish to a fault, but you never want to fault anybody for being unselfish, because I think this team has so many potential offensive threats that they need to find a way to share the basketball.
She missed both free throws and rebounded. Coming down with the basketball, Malo Given. Given's got it in front court. Dumps it over now to Chloe Treese. Back to Given. Here's Ballard lining up the three. Got it.
She finally gets on track, and that's good news for the Lady Knights. They get into double digits, and if they can get their star going.
First basket of the game for Ballard. There's Tompkins throwing it up. No. Rebounded on the backside. Stuck up and in by Williams.
Finally, Malia Williams using the glass, and that's the key there. She's almost unstoppable if she can do that. 64% shooter on the year.
And then Catholic promptly makes a bad pass out of bounds and turns it over. They had 20 of those in the first half.
It's just hard to have good back-to-back possessions. I don't think they have all night, have the Lady Knights, and Lady Cards make it very difficult to do so.
DeFore deep three, got it.
Swoosh.
DeFore, what a ball game she's got working.
17 out of the 35.
Yep, half the points, 35-12.
She's done it outside and inside.
Weldon gives it back to Ballard. She finally got on track with that three the last possession. Now she's out top, launches another three, got it again. Ballard feeling something, isn't she? Hard to feel it.
Tompkins hasn't let her get comfortable out there, but she's found just enough cushion the last two times down.
DeFore's three won't go, stuck back up and in off the glass and knocked down by Owens. got 6 now.
Owens has got to be happy with that to finally get going here a little bit. I saw her playing hard defensively this end, and she probably thinks she'll get some layups that way and get going.
Rakes back out top to Ballard. She's hit a couple threes out there. Now she's going to get a lot of attention, isn't she?
They're going to double her now.
Rakes into the lane. She double dribbled, so that'll turn it back. Another turnover by Catholic.
They gave her a different look. Tompkins has been on her a little bit, and they trapped her with DeFore and Williams on that trip.
So in the game now will be Timothy Williams. She'll replace Tompkins. Across the line, Juliet Smith down the middle of the floor. 5:10 to go in the third quarter. They give it over to Owens to the basket. No, shot won't go, and then knocked away. Good hustle, but good hustle there by Catholic, though. You got to like that.
When you're down 22, it's easy to just say, that ball will go out of bounds, but she wasn't going to have any of that, and that's what you want to see.
DeFore way out top to Smith as she grabs it away from Owens. Smith penetrates, stops, and throws it up. Left hand, no, and pulled out of there. Coming away with the basketball is going to be Farrah Weldon. They swing it around the left side, and there's a three-pointer. Won't go for Treese. And to the basket, and shot won't go for Lexington Catholic's Melo Given. Down the other way. Owens up with the left hand and good.
That's Owens' game. Get running the floor on the fast break, and Smith will always find her, senior to senior.
Got 8 all of a sudden. Down the floor, Rakes. Back to Given. Over to Ballard. Launches a deep three, and that one clanks off the rim. Coming away with a DeFore.
This one's in danger of really getting away from Catholic.
DeFore pushed as she drives into the basket, and she's going to be fouled. 39-15. Scott County by, 24 points with 4:17 in the third.
A few good possessions away from taking it to a running clock, and that's how quickly it could happen.
Yep, exactly right. Smith lobs now, and shot put up and in. Nicely done to Williams on the inbound.
Those set plays off the inbounds with Smith to either Williams or Tompkins have worked like a charm most of the season. They've worked a couple of times tonight.
We will have the girls, the regional semifinals Sunday afternoon, and to the basket, and attempting with the shot there was Treese, and then she gets a little overzealous and fouls after she misses a shot.
And certainly if Franklin County can hold up its end of the bargain tonight, that's going to be a tasty semifinal matchup with arguably 1 versus 2 in the region going at it.
3:50 to the basket. Smith tries to dump it down low, and it's stolen away by Lexington Catholic. Ballard, long pass to Treese, to the basket, up and in, and they're going to call a charge.
Drawn by Malia Owens, who is getting it done on the defensive end, and that's what you want to do. If it's not necessarily your night, your best night with the basketball, your defense will never betray you.
If you're Lexington Catholic and you finally get one to go, you're over here thinking, man, we can't get a break, can we?
Like I said, you just can't. They just cannot get consecutive baskets. If you're Lexington Catholic, that's very frustrating.
Ballard does have a couple threes here in the third quarter, but that's all they've gotten so far. And out front, knocked down.
And just like that, double digits for Owens. She's the third in that category, and Williams not far from it.
She knocks that one down. The lead is 28, 43-25. 3:18 in the third quarter. Here's a steal. They get it into DeFore. DeFore thought about the three, now stutter steps, kicks it over. There's the Owens three, got it!
And you can see Owens' confidence building. She's got the baker's dozen, and they're up 31.
They're up 31. As you said, it could get up to 35 in a hurry. It's up to 31, 3:07 to go here. And that's a full timeout here. And we'll be back here on the Mingua Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week, 46-15. Scott County on top of Catholic.
I work really hard, but I'm struggling to pay my bills on time. I've gotten pretty far behind, and I don't know what to do.
Is this happening to you? We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode.
Bankruptcy could be your best solution.
We're here to give you a fresh financial start.
Start your bankruptcy for as little as $78 now. The consultation is free in Lexington and now in Somerset.
By the number.
Those shots starting to fall for Malia Owens here in the third quarter. She's actually lit it up here in the third.
Yeah, both teams' leading scorers have finally heated up, but in Owens' case, it's been an inferno.
Trees to the basket, won't go, and stuck back up and in. It'll count, and the basket will count for Frank.
Nice stick-to-itiveness there for Frank as she got the board and put it back up and get a chance for the three-point play.
First basket for Emma. Emma Frank, 46-17, lead down to 29. And the free throw is good. 3 points for Frank, 46-18. Cross the line, McMath.
Just like that, Frank became their third leading scorer on the night.
It doesn't take much, does it? And there's a shot off the right side, won't go, and rebounded by Ballard on that shot from Williams. And running the floor, shot put up and in, nicely done there by West. Ariel West with their first basket.
And they do score on consecutive possessions.
Yeah, first time tonight. Down low, stolen away by Ballard.
Getting a little careless here at Scott County. A bad three and then a turnover back-to-back.
Yeah, they're only up 26 points.
Only.
Basket knocked away on a block as going to the basket strong was Hannah Carlisle.
Williams swatted that one down.
Sure did.
She averages about 4 or 5 of those a night. I don't think she's had quite that many this evening. Tompkins had a loud one earlier. And Tompkins will replace Williams.
Carlisle looking for cutters. Right side throws in and goes off the leg of Tompkins out of bounds. It'll go back to Catholic. 2:16 in the third period, 46-20. Scott County leads by 26. Gary Ball with Cal Oaks. Thanks for joining us tonight, Cal.
I appreciate it. Enjoy the opportunity as always.
Here's a steal. Coming away with it. Owens. Give it over to DeFore. Launches the three. Got it. DeFore.
She's money right now. 19 points. Actually, make that 20.
20 points.
She has matched Lexington Catholic on the night.
Yeah. Their output has been 20. She has scored 20. 49-20. Scott County on top. Minute 52 to go. Third quarter. Right side to the basket, and a shot put up won't go there on a wild shot by Catholic's Weldon. And they get the ball back, and almost a steal by Owens. And that shot wouldn't go for Ballard, and coming out there with it is McMath. McMath loses a handle on it over to DeFore.
She wants to shoot.
There she launches it. That's off the mark, and but Morgan DeFore pretty much has a green light.
She had the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other there, and the devil won out.
49-20, Scott County. Minute 25 in the third period. Scott County, look, they're going to move on to the semifinals Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
Yeah, they'll play in the late game. I'm going to try to beat the wet snow and ice that night, I guess.
Yeah. Blocked by Tompkins and a foul call. And that looked pretty clean from up here.
Yeah, she didn't fight too hard, but it did from my angle, too.
We're up in the angle. We
the
got
crow's nest.
Yeah, the crow's nest, I call it here. Kind of like where we are at Lexington Catholic. I'll put you up in the crow's nest there.
Corner.
49-20. Free throw in and out for Frank. Coming back in, Ballard will go out, and coming back into the game will be Malo Given for Lexington Catholic. They lead with a minute 8 to go. Scott County leads 49-20. Missed, rebounded by Tompkins. Long pass to DeFore. She thought about the three, goes to McMath. McMath back to DeFore.
She's always thinking about the three.
Goes to Owens. Owens penetrates, puts up the runner. It goes off, and last touch by Catholic to go back to Scott County. 53.8 seconds in the third quarter. Scott County by 29.
Hovering right around that 35-point magic number where it would be continuous clock.
Pass out top to Malia Owens. She hands it to DeFore. DeFore to the basket, kicks it over left side, and there's a runner, and that won't go there for Williams. And coming out there with it is Lexington Catholic's Weldon, Farrah Weldon. Is in the middle, and West kicks it out, and there's a three-pointer knocked in by Carlisle. And Carlisle with the three-pointer, 49-23. It cuts the lead to 26.
Just hanging in there. I mean, they won't fully go away. And Scott County has inflicted some of that upon themselves with rush shots and just making one too many passes, I think.
Owens crossover to the basket and lays it up and in. Nice job by Owens.
She has 15, and from considering the start she'll take it. She averages 20.
1 second, and Catholic lets the horn sound before they even get a shot off here. Into the third quarter, it's going to be 51-23, 28-point lead for Scott County. And we'll be back here on PrepSpin.com, the Mingua Beach Jersey high school basketball game of the week.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
We start the fourth quarter, 51-23. Scott County Lady Cards by 28.
So they're down are the Lady Knights by more than they've scored, which is not a good look with 8 minutes to go. But they've acquitted themselves well defensively. They haven't let Scott County run them out of the building by any stretch.
Ballard, she's going to be bumped out there by Owens, and the referee's going to call that.
But if you can have a bad offensive night and still be on pace to score 70, I guess you're doing some things right.
Second foul on Owens, and that is the third team foul. 14 fouls against Catholic. Backing it back out is Weldon. Farah works in on DeFore. Weldon to the basket, blocked away by Tompkins. How many blocks she had tonight?
She's had, that might be her first one of the half, but I remember that one that is still echoing from earlier. She's had a nice game.
Weldon set to put it in play, having trouble. Gets it now to Madry. Throws it to the four, picked off by McMath. McMath, 2-on-1 to the basket and up and in, and she's fouled. She'll get the soup and the sandwich. Makes it a 30-point spread. She can make it 31 with this free throw, so 7:36 to go here in this ball game. Still, we're trying to, if you're keeping score at home, 35, and then it will be a running clock.
Yeah, I would call this a workmanlike performance from the Lady Cards. It hasn't been a thing of beauty, but they've gotten the job done. It looks like a quarterfinal region game you would expect to look with a heavy favorite playing in their gym.
It's going to be over and back as Ballard came into front court, and then throwing her the ball was Carlisle. She should have just waited a little bit longer. There's no hurry. She's already in front court.
But
McMath down the lane, throws it up. She's going to be fouled, and she'll go to the line, shoot 2 free throws. As I said, I like this Brady McMath girl.
She never gets cheated. She'll drive right in there into the land of giants and draw the contact.
They list her at all of 5'1".
That's about right, I think. If it's generous. I'm 6'2.5" probably, and interviewing her, it's you do look quite a ways down, but she plays big on the court.
Missed the second one and pulled down by Madry of Catholic. Long pass comes down to Malo Given out top, and it's stolen. But good quicks there by Owens, but knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, I would like to see the deflections chart after this game, because for as many steals and turnovers as they forced, the Lady Cards have about twice that many that they could have had.
Shot on the right side and rebounded on the miss by Gibbon. Coming out of there with it is Malia Owens. Owens in the front court. The lead is 32, and The three-pointer out front won't go. Rebound by Madry. Here's a steal by McMahon. She stops and pops right side, knocks it down.
She's got all 6 in this fourth quarter, and she's playing hard. She doesn't care what the score is.
34-point spread now for Scott County. Madry works in the front court. Gives it out top to Ballard. Ballard penetrates, and she's going to draw the foul. She'll shoot 2. 6:33 to go in this basketball game from Scott County. Join us tomorrow night. It'll be the 11th Region Boys Championship between the #1 team in the state, Scott County, and the team nipping on their heels, #2 in the state, Lexington Henry Clay.
No 2 teams in the state know each other better at this point. Their 4th meeting in about 8 weeks.
Ballard with 5 points here in the second half. She was held scoreless in the first half. The lead is 33. Tompkins out. And back into the game is Malaya Williams. Ballard got them both. She's a good free throw shooter, about 82%.
Yeah, you can see she's got that confidence level. She is, wow, 4 firing from way deep.
4 fires from three-point and pulled down by Madry. She's done a good job on the boards.
Yeah, they've actually done better in that respect than you would think.
Blocked by McMath, and ball knocked away. A good defense there by Williams.
Catholic doesn't have anybody that's huge, but they're not tiny. You know, they're strong. There's good height across the board, and I think that helps them as far as crashing the glass.
Madry, a sophomore. She's going to be a force at Catholic if she continues to.
They've got some young players that are going to have to be reckoned with.
Ballard goes over in the left side to Carlisle, and she goes to Chloe Treese, knocks it down.
Treese with 8 points, Ballard with 8 points. So they're getting theirs, but just not enough.
5:46 to play. Scott County, they get it back to McMath. Lead back down to 29 now for the Lady Cards. McMath to the basket, up and in, boy.
McMath with 8 quick points in the fourth quarter. You're just thinking about the score and the fact that it's still only a 31-point lead. I don't think Coach Steve Helton will mind this. He was a little worried about his team's conditioning to the extent that they've worked on it almost exclusively in practice all week.
To the basket, blocked. And pulling it out of there is Williams. Long down court to the 4, stop, brings it up and in.
I think he wanted his starters to play something close to a complete game, and that's what they're going to have to do tonight. They've got this one well in hand, 61-28 with 5 minutes left.
Left side, and that three-pointer's off the mark, and it's going to be out of bounds. So they've got a 33-point lead with 4:58 to play.
It hasn't been easy. They've had to work for it, has Scott County, and that may actually serve them well going forward.
McMath hands it to Owens, penetrates, good pass on the right side to Williams, and she's going to be hammered. She'll go to the line, shoot 2.
She's had a quiet night, 6 points for Malaya Williams. I saw her score 30 in a game earlier this year. On the same night, she got 23 rebounds.
Ballard just picked up her 3rd foul. 61-28, and free throw won't go for Williams.
It's been a tough night for her shooting the basketball.
Morgan rakes in, and the out will be Malo Given.
But you'd rather have a tough night shooting the basketball when you're up by 33 in
yes.
the quarterfinal game.
And she knocks it down. So Williams now with 7 points. The lead is 34. Out top with it. Weldon back over to Farrah Weldon. Down low, and it's stolen by McMath. McMath. Right side to the 4, and she launches, and she's knocked down. She'll shoot 3. And Morgan the 4, you know what she's upset about? She didn't make that one.
She wanted a 4-point play.
She wanted a 4-point play. So you got a 34-point spread of DeFore, who's what's her percentage at the line?
She's about a 70% free throw shooter, so she only needs to make 1, which she does. So this clock will run as soon as she's done shooting free throws with 4:28 to go.
Yep.
I thought she was going to get 3.
Yeah, so did I.
She thinks she's going to get 3.
That's what the official was saying, three shots.
She was deep behind the line. She was on the Toyota Classic logo
she
over
definitely
there,
in 3-point range.
falling into the crowd.
35-point lead for the Scott County Lady Cards. 63-28. DeFore, second one, got it. 4:26, and that clock will run.
24 points for Morgan DeFore tonight.
She's had a great game.
Yeah, she has.
Knocked down in
both
backcourt.
ends.
Ballard works it across, and there's almost a travel. Here's right side shot, won't go for Weldon.
McMath tears down the rebound.
At 5'1". Right side, Owens lets it rip off the mark. McMath
and
in
another.
There. Turns around, finds out she's open, knocks it down.
Double digits for Braley McMath. Now that's 4 Lady Cards with 10 or more.
66-28. 38-point spread for the Lady Cards. They'll move on to the semifinals of the 11th region, and it looks like Woodford County's going to advance. They're up by 11 late in that ball game against against Dunbar. So
the other games, you got Henry Clay and Southern, and Franklin County and Central. You got to think. Franklin County's heavily favored. The other one, I don't know. My gut feeling is Henry Clay, but we'll see.
So the clock stops as she shoots free throws. Free throw, good. Boy, it hit the back of the board, and that is Morgan Rakes. That's her first point of the ball game.
I've seen some coaches this year that request that clock runs even during their free throws, and quite often that's because the Scott County's close to 100 at that point, and they don't want that indignity on their record.
Morgan makes them both, 66-30. 3.5 minutes to play.
The Scott County team has scored 90 or more points 11 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Not tonight.
Haley Ward in there now. There's Juliet Smith, and a shot put up there by Williams.
She has 9.
Yep, good pass from Juliet Smith, another assist for her. 68-30.
So despite the struggles from the field, good balance for Scott County.
To the basket with the left hand, and West, and we're going to have a foul called. So, Weldon into the game and Carlisle into the game.
Emma Price is going to make her first appearance for Scott County, replacing Malia Owens. Kaylee Wise, first time we've seen her in a while. She'll come in for Malaya Williams, who will probably be done for the night with 9 points.
And you know, in the pregame, I talked about McMath.
Yeah, she has been a factor. She has lived up. She's lived up to the pregame hype. Tompkins at 10, McMath 10, Williams 9, Owens 15 after a slow start.
McMath out top, over to Smith, and Juliet lines it up. That's off the mark, and rebounded coming down with it is Farrah Weldon.
Smith has not scored tonight, which is what she was aiming to do there.
Weldon all the way to the basket off glass, and she says, "Get out of my way."
No quitting these Lady Knights.
68-32, 2 minutes to play. Smith over on the left side, knocked down by Price.
Price a good shooter, Ward a good shooter. There's plenty of depth from the perimeter off this bench.
71-32. There's Ballard, and that three's off the mark. Rebounded by Juliet Smith, 1:42. Smith down the lane, trying to reverse it, no. Battle for it, and Weldon comes out of there with it. Gets it over to Carlisle. In the middle it goes, and there's going to be a foul. Shot put up by Rakes, and she's going to go to the charity stripe. That clock will continue to run. 1:25 still running down them. So that might run, depending on how much time she takes at the free throw line. Won't have much time left.
Yeah, Reagan Barrett and Kylie Bartholomew at the scorer's table waiting to check in for the first time for Scott County. I believe that'll make all 12 Lady Cards in the game tonight.
Everybody the dress play.
And a bunch of those coming in for the Lady Knights as well.
They do stop the clock to let them get in. Free throws connected by Rakes. Yeah, 32 as you said.
Braley McMath getting a well-deserved hand, and as the Lexington Catholic fans saluting Malo Given and Jay Ballard as they check out.
Yep, great careers. Barrett shot, and Rakes. They get it over the right side, and the three-pointer is going to be battled for, and shot put up. It rolls off there, And in there for Lex Cath, that's number 30, Peyton Mayo.
I was impressed with Lexington Catholic tonight. They didn't play scared at all. I mean, obviously they were out-athleted and just out-quicked in so many areas, but they didn't back down.
Knocks it down. So Peyton with her first point of the ball game. Peyton Mayo scores there for Catholic. Emma Frank is in the game. And Peyton's Mayo's free throw, and that's pulled down by Wise. Kaylee Wise got the rebound. Get it up to Price. Price got a good stroke, doesn't she?
She does. And Price, McMath, Wise, or rather Ward. No shortage of shooters off the bench.
Travel by Reagan Barrett.
Barrett's an 8th grader. I don't think she's turned 14 years old yet, but she's going to be a good one. She's got the size and strength to be a factor for a long time.
71-34, Scott County to the basket. Shot wouldn't go there. And for Carlisle, and coming out there with it is Price. 26 seconds. And there's a long three off the mark by Barrett and pulled down by Lex Cath. West throws it up, and I'm not sure at this point it's 71-34.
Academic.
Yep. They do stop the clock.
It's mere cosmetics at this point.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. At the line will be West. She missed the free throw. She's got the cheering section down there for Scott County to make sure she misses them.
Steve Helton's got the look of a man who says, we got work to do. I just want to get this thing over with.
That's exactly right. Free throw connected by Rakes.
Bigger fish to
by
fry.
West, excuse me. And Price down to 6 seconds. They'll just run out the clock. And Scott County has doubled up on Catholic. 71-35 is your final. Scott County by 36 here at home. They'll move on to the semifinals and take on probably Franklin County. They were heavily favored in their game over Madison Central. Woodford County won over Dunbar. So the only score we don't have at this point is the Henry Clay Madison Southern game. That should be a good ball game. But 71-35, Scott County wins it. Any final remarks, Cal?
I'd say Scott County got out, didn't get anybody hurt, and that's all you can ask for at home. They had one more chance to play on their home court, took care of business, and now the real tournament begins.
Well, Lexington Catholic, even though they lost by 36, they can say we held Scott County 11 points under their average. So
yeah, I mean 82, and to hold them to 71, they held them in this much different game than the first time when Scott County had 56 at the half. So I think they can say they acquitted themselves well against a team that could run the table, win the state final. A long way to go before that, though.
Thank you very much, Kyle Oakes.
Appreciate
Working with
it.
us tonight, the Georgetown News Graphic. William Warfield, the king of stream. This is Gary Ball from Scott County High School, where the Lady Cards advance to the semifinals Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. They win at 71-35 over Lexington Catholic. Until tomorrow night with the boys regional championship out of the 11th region, Henry Clay, Scott County at 8 o'clock. This is Gary Ball. So long from Scott County.